You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That, of course, is Mike Pyle, one of my former training partners before he got bigger and better than I did. And then I became lackluster and old. It's Monday before the fight. It's in town, so you don't have to go far. Most guys are panicking, trying to pack, trying to get up early in the morning for their flight. Your wife and your baby's there. So are you checking in tomorrow to the hotel, or are you going to wait till Thursday?
No, I'll go and check in and get everything going because I got family going to come in and stay in my room and hang out and trash it and charge me big bills on it. So
I can see a $2,000 room service bill for like crap that you have no idea what the hell it is. You know,
nachos,
nachos and pretzel bites. What's it like on a Monday night before a fight on Saturday for you? And you're at home, so it's nice. So what are you doing? Are you playing with X-Acto knives? Oh, you're making fishing lures.
I'm tying flies, my friend.
Check you out.
I am getting after it.
That really does relax you, because you've talked about it before, and to me, like, tying flies makes me like I couldn't do it. You're very
well. You got to be a bit artistic and have that little knack for creating things and
I'm good at destroying things. I like breaking stuff. I'm not really good at putting it back together again. So what's going to happen with your wife and your baby? They're staying home, or they come to the fight?
Wife's coming. Baby's too young.
Okay.
He's only 6 months, so we're not gonna put him in that environment loud and
We've seen crazier. We've seen 6-week-old, 8-week-olds on the road. We've seen crazier things, but you're still real family oriented, and your kid's your biggest concern over everything else. So you'll even, no matter what kind of fight it is, if something's going on with him, he's staying home and he's gonna get taken care of. Who's watching him?
Grandma's gonna come in and watch him while Mama comes and watches me win.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Both of you guys are coming off losses. You
coming out
traditionally, don't get pissed off at me, have a hard time with wrestlers that come out there swinging heavy and hard for you, strikers that just like blast you. You get caught in the early rounds. Submission guys, you tend to find your pace, find your rhythm, know right away what's going to happen. You tend to beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Look at this guy's record. He's 16-8. TJ Waldburger. He's got 1 KO, 13 submissions, and 2 decisions. On paper, it says he's a submission guy, which fares very well for you stylistically. How do you see him, though? Do you see him as a submission guy? Do you see him as a striker that gets submissions because he hits guys so hard they give him something? Like, how do you break him down?
Well, I've been breaking him down, of course, and mainly, he's a submission guy. He prefers to be in the grappling aspect of the game. So we're just not going to let him get comfortable, not going to let him set a pace at all. He does have heavy hands, and he'll throw them. He can kick. He can do it all. He's a mixed martial artist. You know what I mean? And he's a serious threat to me that night. And I'm going to make sure that I am on my game and 100%, 100% accurate on the game plan and come out on top.
Your typical game plan is to wear guys down on their feet by using your superior striking game, your superior kickboxing game. You've got an incredible game once it gets going. And using that kind of tactic game where I'm in your space, I'm not, sort of throwing at stuff that's not really there. You're not trying to throw them, you're not trying to knock them unconscious. You're just peppering them a little bit, and they wear down very quickly because it's very difficult when you get in that kind of rhythm. Is that something that you're still sticking to as part of your main game plan? There's always little nuances within each fight because it's a different fight. Is that still the main nuance within your main game plan, or have you developed some more stuff at Syndicate that we haven't quite seen yet? That's going to be jumped out at us as a portion of the main spot of what Mike Pyle is going to do.
I want to get that W however it comes. I'm not gonna push the fight. I'm not gonna push the issue of trying to get a knockout. I'm not going to wear myself out trying to get him to the ground and make sure that I get a sub. I'm gonna take the fight wherever it goes, just at whatever pace happens. However it happens, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm not going to let, like I say, I'm not going to let him, get comfortable and get on, on his own game plan. And I'm going to make sure that, my footwork is key. Footwork will be key in this fight. Like you say, now you see me, now you don't kind of deal, moving around. And eventually he's gonna give me an opening where something significant will land, change the game. He's probably going to want to grapple with me, try to put me against the cage like he does with a lot of people. He's comfortable there, so I'm just not going to let him get in his comfort zone.
Now, this is kind of it's not, I've seen the progression because I've known you for years, but this is a different Mike than like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you're like, no, I'm getting that fight. I'm going to, whatever, but I'm knock him out. I'm going to do whatever I can. And then now you're kind of like, I'm getting the win. However, I got to get the win. I'm going to find a way to get that W. If he gives me an arm, I'm taking an arm. If he gives me his throat, I'm taking his throat. If he leaves his face open for an elbow, you give him an elbow. Is this a more mature Mike that's kind of come through, or is it something that John Wood, your best friend and head trainer, kind of said, look, Mike, you got to figure this out. You got to slow down and figure out how you're going to find these ways. Like, is it more Mike, or is it more John's help, or a little bit of both?
It's just I'm a late bloomer, I guess. I'm really starting to settle into my own. I'm confident wherever the fight goes. I have the skills to knock someone out. I have the skills to take it to a decision. I also have the skills to, submit as well. I'm a threat to him in all aspects of the game. And it's just it's just been a building process for me. I've gotten better. I've matured. Late bloomer. What can I say? Looking to get that W. It's you win the Super Bowl by 1 point, you win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just the way it is. And you can be ridiculed and critiqued about it all, but win. And that's what this is about. It's about winning, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to win. Things can change right in the middle of a fight. You might need to be able to adjust. You can go in with a game plan, get hit right in the mouth, and shit changes immediately. So you got to just be a fighter in there and do what it takes to win and defend yourself and win. But fight to win, not to lose. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of the champs were starting to fight not to lose, and became for boring championship fights because they just didn't want to lose that. And they're talking millions of dollars if they get a loss. A lot of the guys have got to start taking your attitude and switching back to, I'm fighting to win. I'm not out here just trying not to lose and maintain a paycheck. I'm gonna throw everything on my shield. I'm either coming home with my shield or I'm on top of it. And that's kind of the mentality a lot of these guys need to start getting. I want to go back for a second. You talked about chaos. You've been in this fight game for a real long time. When we first started fighting, the jiu-jitsu guys were the jiu-jitsu guys, the wrestlers were the wrestlers, the boxers were the boxers. That's just how it worked.
Yeah.
Now everybody can do everything. Have you noticed a lot more chaos happening in the middle of these fights than when you first started? Where all of a sudden this guy, he's not a black belt in one thing and a blue belt and everything else. He's kind of a brown belt all the way across the line. Are you finding a lot more of that?
Yeah, you are, because and I've said it before, it's evolving. Meaning, the fighters have a chance, have had a chance to evolve, and so have the coaches.
Yeah.
So the coaches have learned to evolve and adapt to, whatever it is, striking, jiu-jitsu. Everybody's becoming more educated on everything. So now it's all coming together, and that's why you get in these, very competitive fights where both are good boxers, both are good wrestlers, both are good jiu-jitsu guys, and it's just a matter of that one small mistake of a hand being slightly down or an arm sticking out just a little too much or just winning on your takedowns. Everything's evolved. Everybody's gotten better, whether it be coaches, whether it be strength and conditioning coaches, learning how to turn us into fighting machines with all the different plyometrics and the weights and it's no more big weights, big dates anymore. It's smart. Everything's technical. Everything is really coming in into its own. All the other sports that exist that are recognized as as big sports, they've been around a long time, and the coaches have gotten better. Strength and conditioning. The rest and recovery methods and tactics are all evolving. So, and it's only going to get better and better. But that's what I feel is going on right now. Is everybody's good in there. Your coaches are good. Your boxing coaches are like, okay, this hook won't work and this stance won't work because we're in MMA now, and you don't have hard-headed coaches that are like, this is how it's done, and this is how a Muay Thai kick is, and this is how a boxing stance is. This is MMA, and everybody's kind of emptying their cup. And some of the older fighters now are have become coaches due to the thing they've learned, and that's why you got these good up and comer guys that like you say, can put it all together on that brown belt level all the way across the board, and that's due to the recognition of the sport and what UFC has done to put it on the map and put it into people's homes, so that the whole family can sit and watch it and. Yep. And get on board with their favorite fighter and things like that, because this is a smart man's game as well. Yeah. You got a lot of smart coaches, and that you're going to go in as a good smart fighter and a well-rounded fighter. So I think it's evolved. 20 years now since that's young. I mean, there's no sport out there that people, they're wearing jerseys and, stickers on their cars and stuff that's 20 years old.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've kind of taken over the world within 20 years, and that's a big thing, and a lot more people are jumping on it. And it becomes very problematic for guys that have been doing it for a long time. You have to keep an open mind, too, in training. Yep. You have to keep thinking, like, I got to keep listening to different guys. How do you keep that everyone giving you advice problem where the coaches are smart, but you've also got your style and your technique, and you know what works for you, but you've got to develop outside of what works for you to be a better athlete. But some of the coaches, even though they're great with, say, me, they're not going to be great with you because we're two different body types. How do you kind of shut down that voices, the extra voices in your head, and only picking out the little things from each coach that will give you, and not the full broad, hey, the Muay Thai kick needs to go this way, but kind of like how do you quell all that down to be Mike Pyle?
Well, I've gotten a couple of coaches on board that they sit and they talk. They don't try to make me a fighter that I'm not. They say, okay, well, Mike's good at this. Let's tweak this a little bit to make it a little bit more safe, or make it a little bit more powerful, or make it more usable in a fight, or this is how Mike reacts to certain things. So work on what me and my coaches call just autocorrect. For instance, if I am, throwing a leg kick and I want to make a shot right after that or whatever, then, you got to make, it's like, okay, if you're going to do that, then make sure when you make your leg kick, you get your leg back in enough time and you stay in a low stance so that you can make your shot, or or just, they don't try to show me how to do the leg kick. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you're gonna, this is, I'm kind of getting lost at what I'm saying here, but.
Well, it seems like to me you're saying that it's a lot more philosophy than it is actual technique now. And the younger kids get the technique. Like, this is how you got to throw it, it's how you got to do it. But John Jones, Anderson Silva, GSP, Mike Pyle, Frank Trigg, Randy Couture, Dan Henderson, all throw leg kicks the exact, completely different way from the other guy. No one throws it the same way. Everyone's got their own game. So if you went from a technical standpoint and said, look, this is how you throw the leg kick, none of us would ever get it. But you go, if you're going to throw the leg kick, then shoot, or leg kick, then punch, this is what you have to do. It becomes more a philosophical kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And that is part of the toughest things to learn as an athlete, is that not getting technical instruction from your coach. It's getting, if you're going to do this, then you better do this, otherwise you get cracked. And it's just how it's going to work.
Exactly. Yeah,
So.
And I'm blessed with good coaches that are, like I say, they communicate with one another.
Mm-hmm.
They don't try to voice over the other, or say, well, I've been boxing, a boxing coach since I'm 14, so I know this. Right? They don't ever talk to each other that way. It's always, well, here's what I was taught, and I see what you're taught. Does it work for Mike though? If it don't work, they'll say, hey, we talked about it. This really ain't you. You're not an inside fighter, so I mean, this is, you might as well just shoot or grapple at this point, because it's just not you. But they will teach you anyway, so that you're aware of it coming from the other guy. So, and they work great together, and that's key. That's key to. That's been key to my success as of late. Except for the ball that dropped in the last fight, but it happens.
Yeah.
Just get back to the gym and get after it. But yeah, I'm blessed with good coaches that don't have egos.
Well, thanks, Mike, for coming on here. It's always a pleasure getting you on MMA Oddsbreaker, because you are your personality in the ring is not the same personality you have outside the ring. You're very quiet. You're very country outside the ring. You kind of play a little bit in your interviews, but when you get inside that ring, you're such a vicious beast. It's kind of like watching two sides of you. And it's amazing to be able to get an interview with you like this and be like, look, I'm an older guy. I've been doing this for a long time, and this is just what it is now. And this is how the game is being played, and you're so much smarter, so much better as an athlete now than you were even 4 years ago. Like it's completely changed. Where most guys are sliding down the hill, you've actually have come up the hill. You took a little dip there for a second, and now you've actually come up even better than you were before. So it's gonna be a fun night. It's gonna be a fun night on Saturday night. I'm obviously excited about the whole damn card, especially with a pure wrestler versus a pure judo in the main event. But I am absolutely interested in seeing how this fight comes out with you, especially when you fight other grapplers. It's a whole new realm. It's a whole new dance that these guys just don't get that happens, inside that cage.
Right on. Thank you.
You got it, Mikey. Thanks. Take care. Kiss that baby for me, and give your wife a hug from me. And we'll talk to you later, bud.